what will happen that when like actually light will fall there itself, so immediately there will be a generation of that charge carrier or the electron. Okay, so that is actually I mean like similar process in photovoltaic also it's happened. So when light will fall and then light will dissociate to that charge, so similar concept. And then actually heat, so this one then stage with each and every step we'll see here with the schematic. Sorry, first let's discuss this, yeah, this part. Then actually what will happen that, so what will happen that whatever charge generation and then this charge or carrier that is actually will interact with the lattice, and that is actually this entire process we can call it the relaxation of the energy. Then what will happen, then heat transfer. So then this absorption first, absorption, and then actually this transfer. And heat here in this case, like actually heat transfer is absorption will be very fast and then heat transfer followed by the heat transfer. So in this case actually there will be a immediate melting and the evaporation of the target material. Okay, and whatever the evaporated material that will convert to plasma. Then absorption of the light by the plasma and ionization. Further, this plasma actually will absorb the light, and this ionization process actually will continue. Otherwise, plasma will not sustain. Okay, so already we have seen in sputtering there is a continuous process, so plasma should not actually decay. Then interaction of the target and ablated species with plasma. So then next actually, so first initial actually what will happen that there is a like absorption process, then this charge relaxation, heat transfer, uh, and into the inside this target material, melting of the target material from the surface. It will be always from the surface, evaporation. Then whatever the evaporated product is actually evaporated atoms are coming, or sorry, molecules or atoms are coming, that will actually convert to plasma, and that plasma will gain the energy and it will be stronger. Further, this interaction of the target and the ablated species with the plasma, so that plasma then actually will start ablating that material from this surface, means the target surface, and the cooling between pulse. So there will be actually always actually you need to cool because plasma temperature is very high. So this target material should not collapse, so that's why target actually there will be a cooling arrangement with that target material. And sometimes chiller also being used actually because this water temperature will be very high, so that's why the chiller is being used. So let's understand the process. So first actually laser, this is actually pulse on that target. Then second actually electronic excitation. So this electronic excitation, you can see that there is a charge carrier generation, then this energy relaxation to the lattice, so that is will happen around in picosecond. And this is actually you can see that actually lattice and this electron interaction, and finally that heat diffusion. So then actually heat will diffuse inside that material, and this diffusion, heat diffusion process is responsible for immediate shoot up of the temperature and the melting process, and this will happen over microsecond. So heat diffusion is much slower process than this relaxation, energy relaxation, or you can say that photon, this phonon and this electrons coupling process. And then what will happen here, this, yeah, so heat diffusion that is actually microsecond, and in this process the melting will after that followed by the melting. So you can see the melting that is actually tens of nanosecond, evaporation and plasma formation that is also in microsecond. So these are actually one by one, first the melting, then evaporation, it will go to atomic level, then this plasma formation and resolidification if sometimes happens. And if plasma pulse is long or repetition rate is high, laser may continue interaction. Okay, so it's a continuous laser. this pulse laser. So with the pulse, then with the second pulse, by that time it will hit, and continuous this process will be there. So these are actually the stepwise what is happening in pulse laser deposition process. Okay, and in pulse laser deposition, so whatever this ablated material will be there on the target material, immediately it will be deposited on that substrate. And that's why I just come back to the schematic process once again. Yeah. So whatever that here, this process is happening one by one, and then the plasma generation. Okay. And this plasma will start ablating from here, and whatever this ablate, it will immediately transfer to here. And this entire process is very fast. It's not like that, okay, I'm that ejecting, I mean, focusing the light, and it will, whenever you will observe from this window, like here you can see from this window, this plume is observed. So when you observe the plume, means the deposition started. So what you have to do, that before that substrate, you need to remove the shutter, and you have thickness monitoring. Like you remember that one I talked about, the thickness monitoring in physical vapor deposition, similar arrangement, exactly the same arrangement will be there near the substrate, so that that will tell you how much is the thickness of the deposition. Okay, or rate of the deposition. Okay, so initially actually, when you feel that, okay, now my deposition is actually standardized or optimized, then you can open the shutter, and deposition will start on this substrate. So now this is actually at peak of laser pulse, temperature on target can be 10 to the power 5 Kelvin. So that is very high temperature will reach due to the focused this laser electric field around 10 to the power 5 volt per centimeter, and also high magnetic field also sometimes can generate. Plasma temperature will be 3000 to 5000 Kelvin, and ablated species with energy 1 to 100 electron volt. Okay. So that means this ablated species will have higher energy. So this is actually additional advantage compared to sputtering. So in sputtering, the sputtered object energy will be less. So in this case, this high energy object, when it will sit on this or it will reach to that substrate, then it will rearrange or it will better crystallinity you may observe in this particular process because of this higher energy. Now PLD with this ultra fast pulse, that is also possible, but it will be, of course, that it depends. Means a new research area. This actually nowadays in picosecond pulse, or nowadays femtosecond pulse also came, and that is also extensively used for laser ablation. So laser ablation is one part that is actually I'm not going to talk about, and PLD is another part, but there is a similarity in this concept. But laser ablation is used for, like, actually to remove one, or to, like, if you want to do a pattern, suppose that you deposit some material, then you have to make a pattern. So then laser ablation is actually nowadays very fast, and I mean one of the most popular technique. But similar concept is used in PLD. So pulse width less than that electron lattice, that relaxation time, then heat diffusion and melting significantly reduced. And this means actually means the cleaner hole and cleaner ablation. So just actually you can go through here. So this is actually in, if you use actually that picosecond laser or nanosecond laser pulse in picosecond, actually this next slide, I think, next, it's here. So this is actually 20 nanosecond excimer laser and 1 picosecond this laser. So you can see the target after the deposition is entirely different. So in this case, less melting, and in this case that you can see the melting is more. Okay, because in picosecond laser, what happened that this, it will be very fast absorption, and then followed by that this diffusion. But in this case actually, since that pulse is actually slower time, so it will actually means much higher time it will get to diffuse this in this particular case. And you can see that film also, that roughness is there, but in particular picosecond laser you can see that actually kind of smooth film. So this is actually, I would not say that nanosecond is bad and picosecond is good. Nanosecond also proper optimization, because here it's just a comparison. You can get very good film, but this optimization of the laser is the main part in pulse laser deposition, and nanosecond laser is the mostly used, but nowadays that picosecond laser also is starting. Now the laser part, so many type of pulse laser have been used for ablation of the solid material, and this ruby laser were among the first is applied, but these most laser ablation systems are equipped with NDYSZ or excimer laser. These are mostly used, and NDYSZ systems are employed because they are relatively inexpensive and require little maintenance, and there is hardly any divergent of this laser beam, and they can be easily incorporated into small commercial this ablation system. Okay, so this is actually just about the laser, and that's all. So with this one, just I finish this technique, and like actually please go through this PPT, and PPT today I'll upload, and one video already uploaded, and so if you have any first question you can ask. Any questions? Okay, so then actually that today actually this I just like to summarize with like thin film deposition is actually, you can see that is classified here physical vapor deposition. So in physical vapor deposition like thermal evaporation, pulse laser deposition, molecular beam epitaxy, this is actually kind of similar technology sputtering. So in our class till now we have covered that thermal evaporation, pulse laser and sputtering. So molecular beam epitaxy, that is actually using the similar high vacuum system is required, but yeah, deposition will be epitaxial growth will form, and that in this particular case chemical vapor deposition we have discussed that metal organic CVD, low pressure CVD, atmospheric pressure CVD, plasma ion CVD. Then electrochemical deposition. So electrochemical deposition, again there are two part, electroplating and electroless plating. Okay, so today means I'm going to start this electro chemical deposition, this part, and this one then solution based, actually solution based chemistry. In solution based chemistry, that chemical bath deposition, sol gel, spin coating, deep coating, inkjet, gravure, screen printing, spray pyrolysis. So I'm going to cover actually some of the technique like chemical bath deposition and sol gel, and then these are actually I'll just give some overview. So this is actually so-called thin film technique. Now, if you go for like coating, then actually coating actually always thickness will be much higher, and this plasma spray or this thermal coating actually will come. So that is actually also that I am going to cover in next few classes. So then thin film actually, however, thickness will be relatively low, but in coating thickness will be relatively high. Like in plasma spray, minimum I mean 100 micron, easily you can get it. But in high 100 micron by this technique, whatever mentioned here is extremely difficult. I mean, let's say that 100 micron, 1 2 micron is you may get, but 100 micron is extremely difficult by this technique. So there is actually little bit actually kind of boundary is there in thin film and coating. So in thin film actually, so that's why thin film is classified accordingly, and I may ask some question on the best of this classification of the thin film. So now actually I'm going to start this electrochemical deposition, or that this actually it has two part, so electroplating or electroless plating. So electrodeposition. So what is electrodeposition? So electrodeposition is the process that exploit the creation of solid materials directly from electrochemical reaction in liquid composition with substrate material. Okay. So what is electrodeposition? Is a process that exploit the creation of solid material. So it will actually finally some solid material will form directly from electrochemical reaction in liquid composition with substrate. So there will be actually one like electrolyte kind of thing, and with the substrate there will be some reaction, and finally some solid will be deposited. It's also called that electroplating, and it's not a new technique, it's a very old technique, and in metallurgy it's actually long use. Okay, like electroplating of copper, electroplating of zinc, and already that you in your class it was there. So electroplating, actually I'm not going to take in details because already all of you, I guess, it's know this one. And an electrochemical process where the metal ions are transferred from a solution and are deposited as a thin layer onto that substrate of a cathode. So in actually electrochemical cell, on the cathode side, that deposition will be happening. So this is just one example schematic. So this is, you can see the cathode, and this is the anode, and this is actually electrolyte. So what will happen on top of cathode, that you will get a deposition when there will be a, this circuit will complete, and this circuit will complete through this flow of ions in this electrolyte. Okay, this electrical circuit will complete in electro deposition. So that's why this is not under that physical vapor deposition or chemical vapor deposition or solution based chemistry. It's a electrochemical, under separate that category, it's called electrochemical deposition. So two technology for plating. So one is actually electroplating, and second one is actually electroless plating. So electroplating, what is electroplating? So substrate is placed in that electrolyte, and when an electrical potential is applied between a conducting area on the substrate and a counter electrode in the liquid, okay, a chemical redox process takes place, resulting in the formation of layer of material on substrate and usually some gas generation at that counter electrode. Okay, so what will happen? Electrode will be there, on top of electrode deposition will be there, and this when electrical potential is applied between the conducting area on the substrate and counter electrode in the liquid, and a chemical redox reaction takes place, resulting in the formation of layer of material on the substrate and usually some gas generation at that counter electrode. So that means one electrode where deposition will be there, another electrode is a counter electrode, sometimes sacrificial this electrode is there, and this on top of this cathode deposition will be there, and this deposition is happening because of the some chemical redox process or chemical redox reaction in that electrolyte, and then only it will happen. So that means in electroplating, electrode is required, but in electroless plating, substrate is placed in a more complex chemical solution in which deposition happens spontaneously on any surface, which forms a sufficiently high electrochemical potential with the solution. No external electrical potential and contact to the substrates are required, and this one so, and more difficult to control the thickness and uniformity of the deposit. In this case, there is no as such electrode, cathode or anode. Just some complex solution is there. Whatever substrate you want to deposit, it need to emerge into the solution. So no external electrical potential. So electrical potential is not required, and this contact to the substrate are required. Okay, but the problem, thickness control thickness or uniformity of this film deposition is little bit difficult in electroless plating. So that means there are two kind of, one is electroplating, another is electroless plating. So we'll now this following classes we'll see what is happening. So in electroplating process, you can see what is happening. This is actually copper electrode, this is brass electrode, and what is happening here, this you can see, this like actually on brass, that copper electroplating is happening. So this is one key, and in this key, brass key, and it's actually emerged in the solution. And this is one electrode, and you can see there is a color change. So this color change is nothing but a copper coating. Okay, so this is actually one example of electroplating. So electroplating of copper, and this is actually where up to what extent it is it's actually emerged in the liquid. You can see that up to that there is a deposition. Okay, so that is actually this, and this is this electroplating process. Now electroless plating, what is happening? Let's say this is in this example that air is purged into the solution, and this is actually 20% nitrolite, this nitrolite, and 80% deionized water, and high density polypropylene tank, this one, and this stainless steel, this immersion heater that coated with PTFE. So whatever actually like in our domestic like actually water heating, sometimes we use the immersion rod, so similar concept is there. And in this solution, that is actually simplified equation showing electro less this nickel deposition. So what is happening? NiSO4 and NaH2PO2 plus H2, and with heat and this catalyst. So what is happening here? This what, and this there is a continuous air agitation will be there too. And if you deposit, if you now immerse one substrate, they are actually on top of substrate. This nickel will be deposited, and this essential salt to supply nickel and hydrophosphate salt to provide this chemical reduction, and this buffer and the complexing agent is required heat and catalytic surface to be plated. And like actually if you some catalytic surface is used, that is actually will be easily plated, and this side reaction can co-deposit phosphorus with the buffer and complexing agent, and heat and this catalytic surface to be plated, and side reaction can co-deposit phosphor with the nickel. So in this case there is no actually anode and cathode, no anode and cathode. Okay, and this whatever in this reaction this nickel is there, it will be deposited on this whatever that you put the substrate here itself. So that is actually the basic difference between that electro deposition and electroless electroless plating. Okay, so electrochemical, that surface engineering, maybe that I'll continue in the next class is this part. So if you have any questions, you can please ask. Or
So,
otherwise,
under which
yeah, please.
category will laser beam coating fall?
Sorry.
So, under which category will laser beam coating fall? Like you gave example, the list, right? That there is PVD, CVD, and electrochemical deposition, and then the last one is SBC. So, under which category will laser beam coating fall?
Laser beam coating, pulse laser deposition. Pulse laser deposition you are talking about.
Yes, yeah, PVD. Got it.
Yeah, PLD. So you can see in the first, in this, can you see the slide? This
Yes, sir.
slide, please see. So first
Yes,
one,
sir.
you can see the physical vapor deposition. Under physical vapor deposition, I put it four: thermal evaporation, pulse laser deposition, molecular beam epitaxy, and sputtering. So these four actually I put in physical vapor deposition. Chemical vapor deposition, these are all are whatever classification of the CVD I talked. Metal, organic CVD, low pressure CVD, atmospheric CVD in this one. So that means pulse laser deposition is coming physical vapor deposition, PVD. Okay, please
Yes, sir.
see this one. And now we are talking about the electrochemical deposition, that electroplating and electroless plating. This is actually two different technique that is under electrochemical deposition. Then it will be coming the solution based chemistry. The solution based chemistry means chemical bath deposition, that is I'll talk about like sulfide, selenide, this kind of material can be deposited easily. Sol gel I'll talk about, this actually very much importance is there, industrial importance. Spin coating, deep coating, inkjet, these are actually like actually I mean is very commonly used in the laboratory as well as in industry, so academic and industry. And spray pyrolysis, that is actually modified version of spray drying, and that spray pyrolysis also is used not only the powder preparation, it can be used for film deposition. Okay, any other questions? Any other question related to PLD or anything? Okay, so let me take the attendance sheet. And suppose you miss some question and you want to ask, you can WhatsApp me, absolutely no problem. And this PLD, last class I told that some video I'll put it, so that is also I'll put it, so that actually I, because in particular in this technique, I request all of you, like, this class is not everything. If you want a better clarity, please actually follow like NPTEL lecture series in YouTube. Nowadays actually visual learning is there, so you will be getting a better clarity about this process. Okay, so extra reading or extra knowledge is always actually highly encouraged. And particular actually from a single book, this all the things is getting is extremely difficult, because nowadays this actually I talked about few techniques, several other techniques are developed, people are customize new technique nowadays. So that is actually, but basic technique if you know, in future you can survive anywhere. Okay then, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.